Nancy Crawshaw from the Extension team at Angus Australia, and welcome to the Spring Bull Series. We're delighted to kick off night one with the Replacement Female Sire episode. Tonight we are looking at the bulls our semen companies have up for offer, which are suited to breeding the best replacement females for your herd going forward. The breeding decisions we make today are going to impact on your herd in 10 years' time, so it's really critical we get the right genetics for what that future market may look like. We hope you enjoy this episode and find a bull suited to your breeding objective. Please sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone. Really excited to talk about foundation female maker bulls. We feel like we've got some of the best ones in the breed. Really lucky to be joined here by Tim Wright. Tim's actually a new member of the Worldwide Sires team as a beef specialist down in Western Victoria and South Australia. Tim comes along with a lot of experience in the cattle business, really well respected around Australia for his knowledge on beef cattle, so particularly Angus, of course. So welcome along, Tim.
Thanks, Dale.
The first bull we thought we'd like to talk about is a bull called Deep Creek Square Deal. We were both lucky enough to see Square Deal, see his dam, see some progeny. Just a really, really balanced bull. We've talked about this bull a fair bit. He's created a lot of interest around Australia. I think he could be one of the really hot bulls.
For sure, Dale.
In Australia this year.
Definitely. We've seen that bunch of heifers up there at Brunner Angus Ranch.
Yep.
And, there was 30 odd heifers in a group there, and just so formal and complete, really.
Yep, they were standouts.
They were, yeah.
Yep, added a little bit of frame. He's a bigger bull, probably a 6+ frame bull. And the dam, we saw the dam. She was really complete as well. The feet, you were really impressed with the feet, Tim?
Impressive, yeah.
Yep, I know you took a lot of photos of the feet.
Yeah, big thing.
Yeah, perfectly footed, really docile. We got to the ranch, they were feeding the bull, he was eating out of their hand. I think the docility on the bull is really good. And I think if you study his EBVs, he's really, really balanced across all traits and super high on his foot scores, which I know back home, we're really focusing on foot quality, docility. This bull is really docile.
That's right, Dale. Yeah, I think the bull's just going to put so much longevity and everything into herds, and I believe that he'll really stamp that in his progeny and take a lot of herds forward in the future. So
yeah, absolutely. And the next bull we thought we'd talk about is a new acquisition for Australia. A bull owned by a really great friend of mine in Steve Monin, a bull bred by another really good friend in Brent Thiel, a bull called LT Flint. This bull is super exciting. We were probably as excited as we've ever been when we saw this bull, Tim. Super slick skin, perfect in the feet. You and I were scratching him on the tail. He was super docile, has a lot of performance. The foot quality is real, out of an Ellingson Badlands. And what about you like the Rainmaker as well, Tim, in that pedigree?
Yep, you can just see it within the bull himself. He's got a big square hip and length, and then he follows right through over his sort of neck and head, and he's got a beautiful eye on him. And as you touched on there, Dale, just scratching him, and he was just happy to have you around.
Yeah, he was. We're really excited about this bull. I think this bull could get really big in Australia, so we really feel these two bulls are really going to be generational cow makers right across the board in Australian herds going forward.
Definitely.
Hi, I'm Carl Tesling, Chief Operating Officer at Angus Australia. I'm excited to announce the launch of MateSel, our powerful new tool to help members make smarter, data-driven breeding decisions.
MateSel takes your herd's pedigree and EBV data, combines it with your selected breeding objective, and generates an optimised list of matings tailored to your goals. You direct the direction.
MateSel use robust scientific principles to help you allocate the most appropriate bull to each of your cows by using genetic condition information, estimated breeding values, breeding objectives, and inbreeding levels to create a tailored plan for your herd.
Choose candidate sires from your own herd, sale catalogues or semen listings. Select the index and traits that matter most to your production system, and MateSel does the rest. It provides you with a list of optimised matings that keep your herd heading in the direction that you select. Data-driven mating made simple. You set the targets and MateSel finds the matings that get you there.
It's easy to use, fully integrated with Angus Tech and free for this spring season. Try it today and unlock your herd's genetic potential.
MateSel, smarter mating decisions made simple.
Welcome to Angus Australia Annual Spring Bull Night for 2025. Whether you're sitting in the office, on the throne, in the tractor or around the dinner table, sit back while Fletch and myself bring you all the bull information you need to assist you having a successful spring breeding.
Thanks to Angus Australia and enjoy the next 5 nights of information. What do we look for in a good maternal bull? I think tonight's options should tick a lot of boxes for a lot of people. We know that breeding cows for longevity that are going to stand the test of time in someone's herd is so much more than selecting a bull on a set of numbers. We've seen the impact of true maternal bulls like Square B True North have had right across the globe and including here in Australia. Now we have a son, Basin True Grit, with a little bit of added frame, substance and power to go on top of the legacy that True North has left. He is an ideal maternal bull. We inspected daughters last month at Basin Angus in Montana in the US, and they were awesome. Moderate, thick set, functional, heavy fleshing females with excellent heads, tail head placement, feet and disposition. Importantly, they had awesome udders with plenty of milk and were doing an outstanding job on their calves.
We're just at Basin Angus Ranch in Montana today, just having a look at a few True Grit daughters here. Basin True Grit was probably the best bull we saw at Origin yesterday. He's a True North son and he's just super sound and very quiet. Really well-made bull. You just see here on his daughters. Great udder, plenty of milk, really good feet, and they're just so quiet. Walk straight up to her here. And they just move really well. Got lots of mass, good tops, big middles, and just beautiful docility on them.
Take a look at True Grit's maternal EBVs. He's got fantastic milk and moderate mature cow weight. These are going to be functional females that stand the test of time in people's herds. A bull like Willamara Trigger T308 is such a no-brainer for a strong maternal option for people in Australia. Animals are thick set, beautiful skin, quiet, excellent feet. We've seen the impact that Trigger is already having. If you think his male progeny are good, wait till you see the young heifers coming through. His pedigree is littered with Angus female gold, Willamara flower N30 cow, Quartz, Cruise Time, Clooney, Hector, you name it, the Australian maternal greats are in this bull's pedigree. He's a fantastic option for both stud and commercial. Trigger T308 is a flawless maternal bull in every sense of the word. He'll suit any commercial or stud operation in Australia.
Thanks so much for tuning in over the last few nights.
It's been our pleasure to offer some of the most exciting bulls that we've had in our lineup in some time. Our new spring directory is just around the corner, which will highlight all of the bulls we've spoken about tonight, plus another couple of newbies. So look forward to that in your mailboxes over the next few weeks. Thanks again.
Hi everyone, it's Nancy Crawshaw from the Extension team at Angus Australia. Just a quick note, we're looking at running workshops all over Australia and New Zealand in the next 12 to 18 months, and we want your feedback and input as to when we should run these workshops and where. We want to really make sure the workshops we run are tailored to what our members want and what's going to add the most value to your business. So we've got a quick form open down below in the notes. If you would be able to complete this form and give us a bit of details around when suits you to have Angus Australia in your area and what you'd like us to cover in these workshops, it'd be greatly appreciated. We hope you're enjoying the Spring Bull series and we look forward to hearing from you and hopefully seeing you in an area near you soon.
Well, we're back again for another night on the Spring Angus Bull Night for 2025. Tonight we're talking about all our replacement female sires. The first bull that really hits it hard in this category for us is Hoover About It. I'm really impressed with how this bull has been going. His first calves are now 12 months old on the ground here in Australia, and they're really standing up very nicely in some big contemporary groups. Some people have probably overlooked this bull, and he deserves a second look for this spring. I saw the bull about 8 weeks ago and he stood up very well. I think what is most exciting about this is his maternal line. His dam T78 is an up-and-coming donor in the Hoover herd, and with N54 and G366 backing up this bull, the Erica cow family from Hoover is a really special group of cows. Here's N54 still going strong at 12 years of age. I just think this overall power and performance here really steps it out here for Hoover about it. With the new maternal traits out in the US, he comes in at the top 20% for teat quality, 15% for udder quality, and top 25% for maternal longevity. As structure data keeps coming in on this bull from the US, he keeps on getting better and better. Use about it to add muscle, softness, shape, and overall serious maternal cow power. The next bull in this section I want to talk to you about is Deep Creek Legitimate 203. One of the most powerful bulls to come out of the US in recent times. He's larger framed with a serious amount of growth and maternal power. On the most recent trip to the US back in June, I saw large contemporaries of 18-month-old legitimate progeny, and they were the complete standouts in whatever contemporary and sire group they were within. It was really great. They had extra growth, dimension, softness, and I really admired those cattle. I think one of the greatest strengths of this bull is the program he comes from, the Deep Creek herd in South Dakota. It prides itself on maternal cow strength, and it's really evident when you get stuck in with TJ into those cows. Dam is a younger donor female in the Deep Creek program, with his granddam and great granddam also being Pathfinder females. Again, with the new maternal traits out in the US, True Value comes in on the top 3% for teat quality, top 3% for udder quality, and top 50% for functional longevity. If you're looking to add power, maternal strength in a very sound, docile package, Legitimate is absolutely the bull for you. The final honourable mention here for this category is going to be LT Clarion 9054. Just a complete phenotypic superstar with flawless structural soundness. I cannot emphasise the foot quality on this bull. He's a powerhouse, showcasing impressive muscle, base width, clean fronted functionality of the cow that I regard as the best cow in the LT program. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Angus All-Rounders. Cheers.
Welcome to the Angus Bull Night for 2025. I'm Vaughan Johnson, National Sales Manager for Semex Australia. And tonight we bring you the Replacement Female Sire, one of the most proven sires in the industry today, View Mogul G241. With over 1,200 animals registered now, he has the ability to make females at the top of the ranks, and it has already done so with animals ranking at 321 Australian Breeding Index. Enjoy our update on View Mogul.
You could really sum him up as he's just a really great all-around bull. He checks all the boxes. He'll breed, really true to how you expect him to. He's a mid-frame bull, great phenotype, and great figures across the board. And it's pretty indicative of when you look at his Oz, breeding indexes and his feed cost index. He really checks those boxes. So I think he's our all-around bull and really progeny proven. When you look at his growth traits, he's up there in the 97-98% for accuracy. Get into some of the carcass traits, he's sitting at an 83 and 85% for EMA and carcass weight. So, he's a bull that's not going to give you a lot of surprises. He's going to do what you expect him to do. And I think that's really important.
We're seeing Mogul progeny get to the top of the ranks here in the indexes here in Australia as well. So, he's a bull that really transmits through to his progeny. And we certainly see it in the females as well, not just the bulls that are coming through the sales.
Yeah, and I think when you look at his pedigree, that's, where you get to, it's not a real surprise. When you look at him, he's got the great Baldridge Isabel, Y69 through his pedigree. And then the thing that makes it really interesting is the Reno bull has done a great job. The female side of him is really good. When you look at dollar maternal, in the North American system, he's a really high ranking bull there. But the interesting thing is it also gives a bit of a different twist. He's a pretty open pedigree, I think, for Australia. And, he really transmits that high EMA. And as you mentioned, the maternal aspect of it, that's where he is a bull that really checks all the boxes. His Caberets and his daughters is great. You look at his milk figures are really, really good, and he really ranks up there high. But yet he'll bring some carcass weight, he'll bring some EMA to the table. And I think a real logical mating on high IMF females. A lot of times you get them high IMF females, you're looking for a little more of those maternal traits that a bull like Mogul can bring to the table. He'll help you out in EMA, give you some growth. So I think he's a real great mating on those high IMF females, and he's a really open pedigree for the traditional high IMF females. And he does it in all the environments. He does his data in Australia mirrors what we're seeing in North America. When we look at him, those strong foot scores that he's got, when you look at his rankings in Australia, it mirrors what we're seeing in North America. When you look at him, when he's a top 2% for claw set in Australia, 5% for foot angle. When we look at his North American data, he's top 1% for claw and 4% for foot angle. So we really like to see that.
G'day and welcome back for another Spring Angus Bull Night. This time it's 2025. Hard to believe we're here already, but we're looking forward to the lineup of bulls we've got for you tonight. We've broken things up a little bit, so we'll have 5 nights with some different bulls on each night. We're going to kick off tonight. Future Foundation Sire, a bull that breeds females. And pretty exciting topic for me. There's a couple of bulls I'm pretty excited to jump into, and we won't hold back. Let's have a look at them. LT Clarion, the first bull I want to talk about. And if you want to look at numbers, you're probably looking at the wrong night, because this bull probably doesn't have the data, but he is a hell of a bull to look at. Side by that famous Basin Rainmaker 4404, who's a bull that probably has more sons in AI than he had sons in Australia there for a little while, but a bull that really keeps you out of the ditches, feet, udders, and production, like fertility, they all stay in the system. But this Clarion bull adds a whole next level of power out of that Forever Lady cow family, and I think if you want your cattle to have some look to them and some substance, some ribs, some body, some muscle shape, still being soft enough, this Clarion bull's a bull that I think you should look at, but don't hold back, because there's not a lot of semen left on this bull, and I don't think we'll see too much more semen come from Clarion. There's probably less than 200 straws available, and if you don't get into him, you'll probably miss out, I'd say, especially after this bull night. But a bull that has the look, I think, to take us forward. Let's check out Millamurra Sunstruck. You haven't seen many bulls from us come out of the Millamurra stable, but we've found one we really want to sink our teeth into with Sunstruck. A bull, these calves come pretty early, but they are proper thick. Pretty long-bodied little dudes, and I think there's a lot to offer from this bull once they grow up and become cows in your herd. Side by that Millamurra Nectar bull that adds heaps of thickness and power, and then out of this Millamurra Flower N30 cow, who's the mother of another famous bull called Quartz Q29, who did a lot down in Gippsland and people have gone back to and used. And this cow has produced over 50 odd calves and is half share in that cow, sold for a lot of money, a flush interest. And I think if you look from maternal side and back and depth of pedigree, you know, Ross could tell you a story for probably a day about how good this cow is and how well they've worked for him. These flowers are well known across the industry, and I think this bull's going to do that same job. So Sunstruck's a bull we will see more of certainly in the future. The cubs are only probably just getting to yearling age now, but certainly will add thickness, will add length of body, and they will come early.
Hello everyone, I'm Ashley Cross, Southern Beef Sales Rep for Genetics Australia, and welcome to the very first episode of the Spring Bull series. Tonight we'll take you through our top replacement female sires in Tahama Testament, Millamara Tiny Dancer T438 and Ben Nevis Tribune T302. Testament is well known to Australian breeders and sons have been selling very well. He is now very limited and this will be the last time he is available for a spring joining. Tiny Dancer has been the talk of the Angus world since going on display to delegates on the Angus Trek as part of the World Angus Forum. His combination of docility and structure has really set him apart. Tribune has maternal royalty in his genes, going back to the record-setting mature cow Ben Nevis gene H215. Enjoy the episode and get in touch with any questions. If you're serious about building a powerful foundation of replacement females, Tahama Testament is the sire that delivers true consistency. Testament, a crowd favourite and a proven foot improver, has a great track record of producing high-selling sons and exceptional, robust daughters. As the $75,000 high seller and Lot 1 standout from the 2021 Tahama Angus sale, Testament combines early fertility, structural soundness and elite maternal strength, backed by the credibility of the long-standing Tahama Angus program. His outcross pedigree offers calving ease and carcass in a moderate frame with added fleshing ability and structural integrity that shines through in his progeny. Testament's dam, by Sid's wisdom, is one of the best cows in the Tahama herd, and that maternal quality is clearly passed on. Whether you're breeding for longevity, udder quality, or just good doing females, Testament is the sire to lay down your future foundations.
Millamara Tiny Dancer T438. Well, hasn't he been a star this year? It was wonderful to have him on display at Millamara for the pre-tour of the World Angus Forum, and incredible to have so many people view this really impressive bull. He's been described as one prominent breeder as the lay-down reserve for Angus breeders across Australia, and we couldn't agree more. He's an out-and-out foot improver and docility improver, with top 15% claw set and top 5% docility. He's a big, strong bull with a big, strong head, stands up really proud and just demands your attention with his sire appeal. That muscle shape in him is reflected in his EMA, but he's also got calving ease and moderate birth weight and above average IMF. So I really don't think you can go wrong with Tiny Dancer. He's now available in female and male sex semen, and he's going to go from strength to strength in spring 2025.
Ben Nevis Tribune is the kind of bull that makes building a reliable, productive cow herd easy. From the renowned Ben Nevis program, he's got presence, performance and pedigree. Backed by Rambo R230, Museflash N239 and the record-setting Gene H215. Tribune himself tops the 2023 Ben Nevis Spring Angus sale. Rosalie Angus picked him for his depth, thickness and muscle. He's also quiet, free-moving and easy-doing. His first calves there are 13 months old and are already looking the part. With curve-bending growth, great fertility and rock-solid structure, Tribune's the sire that will leave you with beautiful, balanced females that will go the distance. Thanks again for joining us for this episode of the Spring Bull series. Both Testament and Tiny Dancer are available in female sex semen, so don't miss the opportunity to utilise excellent maternal genetics in building your female herd.
Hi everyone, I'm Nikki Wallace. You may know me from the World Angus Forum and prior to that Member Services. I've recently changed roles at Angus Australia, now working in people and culture. Thanks for tuning in to the first episode of our Spring Bull series. Be sure to tune in for the rest of the week's episodes where we focus on a different type of bull each night. See you next time.